tell you.
He's a tech-savvy guy, gonna show you the way. You better load your bags, cause crypto's here to stay. Listen up, gonna teach you about this and that. But he's just a goofy guy in a straw hat. So join in and have a laugh. It's gonna be a good time, that's a fact. Information and crypto parodies. Sit back and enjoy the show. You just never know which way you'll go. So get ready for Digitspin Crypto.
No doubt in my mind. Hey, didn't somebody talk to you? It was asking you, didn't they go on the screen or type in and say, hey, how come Electroneum's not on Binance? What do you know, I can tell you why we're not on Binance, but I'm curious to hear what you think.
I think Binance is very, very doing some deep research in terms of when they are adding a new pair on their trading exchange. I think they have only accepted over 100 coins, nothing more really.
Yeah, it comes down to this: is that Binance is, well, at the time was charging, I'm sure, just an absurd amount of money that got changed to a donation. You have to donate to Binance, and I think that absurd amount of money. Listen, here's the one thing that I like about Electroneum, and I'm going to back this up. Richard Ells and the team there, they were able to raise so many millions of dollars, and I think that they've been extremely wise custodians of those funds, and they're not going out there and just blowing it on events and parties and girls in bikinis jumping around the shop, and they're wisely investing it into talent and marketing and shows as required, and they're real tight on that money. They're not going to just let it get spent away, and clearly that's going to drive how they use the money, and they're not going to go spending millions of dollars to get listed on Binance. There's just no reason for it, and I guess we'll see where things go. I know that we were on the community coin list at one time. I'm not sure. I think it's pretty clear that unless Binance can find a way to make some under the table money, they ain't gonna add you. And I think that I think what it comes down to is Electroneum's pretty straight shooters, and they're not willing to do anything like that. They get put on the bottom of the list, and it seems pretty clear to me. That's my personal opinion.
I definitely think that as well. But I think some people are kind of, I don't know, how many exchanges are we even on now? I think 21 different pairs or something. Maybe I'm
there's
9.
a lot.
Because some are not even mentioned. Like, I know there's some smaller ones as well. Like Artist Trevor is not even mentioned on CoinMarketCap. So there's some different ones as well. But
Right.
why do we think that they're going to be on some exchanges more in the future, or are they going to be listed on more? And why do you think they haven't really been that?
I think that there'll be more and more exchanges as we go along. Let me move this here. I think there'll be more and more exchanges as time goes on, because they're going to want to add Electroneum. Electroneum's not going to have to pay or get their arm twisted to do that. Clearly, like Huobi, you see Huobi on here. All right, you got KuCoin and Huobi, and when they got listed on Huobi, It's my personal opinion. They got their arm twisted that they also had to buy market making services from Algo Z, and that was part of the need or the requirement to be on Huobi. And because the community wanted some big exchange, I think they made that happen. I personally don't like market making services, but there may be a value there that I don't realize or understand also. But the fact of the matter is, you got KuCoin, which is doing great, Huobi, which is big. You got Liquid, which is big. If somebody wants Electroneum, they can easily get it from one of these larger exchanges. And whether or not it's on Bittrex or Binance isn't going to make any difference whatsoever, because if you want it, these are big exchanges that a lot of people interact with and won't have any problem. And then, of course, you got the smaller, the BitBNS, Trade Ogre. Trade Ogre is actually, believe it or not, Trade Ogre, I do not have an account with them, but Trade Ogre seems to be a really talented exchange. The guys there seems to know what they're doing with the code, and it's something I'm going to be looking into. I don't know how good of an exchange it is, but they seem to be pretty talented folks. And like you said, you got these smaller ones. And, even Coinbean's on here. The problem with some of these wash trade ones, it's hard. You don't know what the volumes really are, and it makes it kind of tough. But there's plenty of exchanges to find and to secure ETN at.
Would you like to see one thing that I hope in the future is as well, that we are going to see more trading pairs, especially with stable coins, but also fiat, because I think that could really help out in countries where they're developing countries, because then they can have their money saved up where it is a stable coin, and they actually know their money is there and it is not going to fluctuate like with 10 or 15% within a week or so. And the fiat, then you can just directly get it into cash, and that is more easier to use. Don't you hope that we're going to see that as well?
I think the whole crypto community as a whole will see more and more of that. I think Electroneum has that need as one of their top bullet points to try to make happen. And the reason why I say that is because they went out of their way to try to do that with Liquid and some of the other exchanges where you can pair directly right into Electroneum and not have to go through a third coin or a base coin like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So that's pretty much the holy grail for everybody, is to be able to trade directly to some kind of a base coin or a base fiat. So yeah, and that'll help. And I think you'll start to see, it's my prediction, you'll start to see Electroneum on ATMs, the money machines. So you can go down to a local store and buy the Electroneum directly through an ATM. I think that with some of these exchanges, it'll also work out where you can buy directly from fiat.
Yeah, I definitely I hope that. I just think it's about a question about time. The more Electroneum is out there, the more developed it gets, really. Because what I think they're working on now is, once they have the fully product, which seems to be coming out this year, maybe with the Gigu, the vendor directory, and I don't know what else they're really working on. I have to look on that timeline. But when fully instant payments as well, and the subscription payments as well, they even haven't put out in beta. And when that is in full, I truly believe they could start market that, because I would rather see their marketing a full product rather than an unreleased product as well.
I'm with you. So when I was talking to you, I wrote this down. You were mentioning something about Apollo coin. What the heck is that?
Sure. Well, this is I think, a very interesting concept because it has mass adoption plans, and it is still a privacy coin. And I, I really don't see any privacy coins talk about mass adoption, and this is one thing that is so essential for currencies is that they have a mass adoption plan, and I don't see any other than that. And the other reason why I also believe this project is kind of interesting is because John McAfee is actually the chairman of this project. And if you go to Apollo currency, you see that one of their ways they want to get kind of mass adopted is they want to make paper money that is tied up to Apollo currency, because in some areas there's a very bad internet connection, and then you can exchange it. And they also want to introduce coins as well, and I think that is a very interesting project. And they also have some projects in terms of launching. They're calling it a decentralized bank, where they really want to launch banks or ATMs all across the major cities in Africa, but also in the rest of the countries, to make it easier accessible. And I haven't really seen any other privacy coin talking about that. So I really think that is terms, and I do like the idea that you also have a privacy option that also focuses on mass adoption. Because if you look at Electroneum, it was kind of a anonymous coin in the start, but they kind of drifted away from that in terms of regulated things. I think that is very interesting as well.
Okay. All right. So I'm taking a look at this here. So I'm seeing here they got 21 billion coins. Its total supply, about 14 billion have been released into the wild. So it's a $24 million market cap. So it's relatively small. This has been out for, it looks like, at least a year. Maybe how long?
So yeah,
how long
all
have you
right.
got it?
I've been into this project for back in 2018 around. They didn't even have actually a ICO. They had an airdrop because they already had a finished product, but they were doing an airdrop where you could buy coins, or they were calling it a coin distribution, where you could buy coins to support the project, because they wanted to market it as well.
Okay, I see Bitmart, IDAX, and Coinbean are locations that you can trade, and Bitmart seems to have it sewn up as far as the total volume. They have like 90% of all the trades there.
I can't really remember his name. Have you ever watched Shark Tank?
Yes.
Yeah, one of the guys from there actually was supporting. I will send you the link now, because one of the guys from Shark Tank even supported the project. Give me a second here. And they posted out that on Twitter, and he was also very interested. I think he's an investor in it.
So I'm trying to get a better understanding. It looks like it's pretty much done sideways trading for the whole period of time, with some peaks and valleys, but pretty much starting off at the same place it's ending at, as far as price.
His name Camo. Do you recognize that name? Camo from Shark. Camo. Maybe I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but that is the guy from Shark Tank. Do you recognize that?
Yeah, the name sounds familiar. Let's see here. I'm going to go to the website, open a new tab.
I'll send you a link. I just sent you a link here in chat, because I think you're really gonna.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at it. I'm looking at the website. So it's really just for money transfer. Is that their use case?
Sure. Yeah, it is. But also it is an all-in-one currency. They are going. If you look at it, it is really an all-in-one currency, because they have so many different features. They have anonymous trading exchange. They are going to have smart contracts as well, like Ethereum. They're really trying to deploy an all-in-one currency, as well as being a privacy currency, and that also focuses on mass adoption. I can mention some of the things they have. Give me a second.
Now, is this a mineable?
Yeah, you can mine.
Project?
Not like them. Yeah, you can mine the project, but they have like private transactions. They have also public transactions. They have IP masking. They also have like a monetary system where you can make your own like tokens, and as well as like an asset system as well. They also have coin shuffling integrated. They even have an alias system. They also have multi-signature accounts, encrypted messaging, a decentralized exchange, a decentralized marketplace, so you don't need like any like AML or something to trade different things. I think that is also great, and it also allows third-party plugins. And they also claims to have zero inflation as well. So I think that is very interesting in terms of other currencies. They have inflation, but Apollo don't have that.
Well, if they're mining, well, hang on a second, time out. If you're mining coins, they're creating inflation.
I think they're burning their coins to kind of scale the inflation.
So what's the sense of? So for every coin mined, they burn one. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I haven't really. I don't understand why, but for some reason they're claiming to have zero inflation. I don't know if that is true. I do believe, but they haven't really answered the question on how zero inflation is happening.
Okay. Yeah, that one there is kind of an interesting thought. Let's see if I can get this wallets team. What the heck is this? I can't. Their website's really. I'm gonna blow this up a second. Okay, roadmap. Public decentralized partners. Stay tuned. Fan store. Let's take a look at this here. Okay. Web wallet release, Windows and OS X, Olympus protocols. All right, so I'll take a look at it, and I'll find out and research a little bit about it. I don't know anything about Apollo. I haven't followed them.
So,
and,
like WebDollar, what is that whole project about? Because as I understand it, your wallet is in your browser. Am I not mistaken on that?
Right. So since you talked about WebDollar, I'll explain that one for you. So basically, you go to WebDollar.io, and what they did accomplish is that they made the world's simplest cryptocurrency, and these guys instead of duplicating an existing fork or modifying some other code, they went out and created their own environment, their own algorithm. And so basically you go to this webdollar.io. In the bottom right, it'll instantly create a wallet that will show up. You can then click on that, take a look, and see your coins and what's going on in that. And basically you can obviously transfer funds back and forth to anybody and mine directly from a web browser on your CPU. Now, the fact is that they also added proof of stake capabilities. So what that does for you is, and proof of work. So it's a hybrid. And what it'll do is when you're in the browser, it'll start mining 33% of the time. It'll start off in the first 3.3 seconds. It'll mine proof of work. Then the next 6.6 seconds, it'll mine proof of stake, and then it'll repeat that process. So it does both at the same time, so that you can capture both. What this allows you to do is basically mine. If you have some coins, you put them in there. You can mine WebDollar with very little electricity and use of power, and it makes it really simple for anybody. Because grandma can go open up a a web browser, go to webdollar.io, see their wallet, be able to receive and send coins. And if they have at least 100 web dollars in their wallet, it'll start proof of stake for you automatically, and you'll earn coins that way also. So it gives everybody the ability to experience cryptocurrency from the beginning without having to go buy hardware or make any modifications.
But is it only a CPU mining coin? Is it not only, or is it only all the GPU?
Yes, so
Because
you can mine GPU or on your CPU. It'll run
Okay,
both.
because-
And so obviously in the proof of stake model, it doesn't matter what you have because it matters on how many coins you have in your wallet. The proof of work section, the 1/3 that's doing proof of work, is based on your work capacity. So obviously somebody who's running a GPU would earn more than somebody who's running a CPU. But you can, I know lots of people that have let it run on their CPU and earned a few hundred coins, in a couple of weeks. So to get started. Now I know people that have, for example, I've been mining this for well over a year. So I've been able to collect a decent amount of coins, and by staking those, they will earn me more. So I can make an extra 200 or 300 coins a day just by staking what I have, which is neat. And I'm using like little to no power whatsoever to do it. It's almost inconsequential, the amount of electricity I'm using. It's irrelevant. If I have my computer on, it's not changing any usage or pumping it up. So it allows you to start to earn these. Now, keep in mind, WebDollar is relatively new and they're still finding their way. But the reason why I went with them is because of this simple. Because it's so easy to use, people are going to play with this. And they're going to want to, mine and see how it works. I start to get to know the team, and these are some really bright guys, and they work non-stop, and they're just full of ideas, and they have a lot of really neat things. One thing they're working on next, they're getting the environment stabilized because they got onto a lot of exchanges and all, and they're making sure everything is running well with that, and it's secure, and doing upgrades there. And then the next piece that they're going to be working on going into the future is they're going to actually make a smart contract platform where you can use any basic language like C or ASP or some other type of high-level languages to write code that would work in the WebDollar environment as a virtual machine.
That actually seems awesome to see that. I know some currency or cryptocurrencies you have to use totally new program languages for blockchain, but if you can integrate #C, I think it is going to be very easy to integrate. But how long have you been in WebDollar? Because I think you have been talking about it for some quite a time. And how did you even find it?
Just by chance. Somebody had turned me on to it, and I took a look. They were trying to go with the mainnet at the time. They started it for 4 months. They were building the basics. And then they went live with the mainnet, so I jumped on board, and it was pretty exciting back then because you would, mine solo, and you would hit, and you would get 6,000 WebDollars if you hit mining solo, and there were times where I could hit 2 or 3 times a day in the beginning, so you could make 18,000 WebDollars in a day, but that didn't last too long. So many people started going on, and it was becoming harder and harder. And I remember leaving my machines on for weeks just trying to get one hit of it. And then they created the pool system. And you have to keep in mind, because they built this from scratch, they didn't have all of the code just to tap into. So like everybody else, the code's already written, and all they do is put their name on it, slap a sticker on it, and
They
everything
just
they
fork
need
their
is
own
there.
currency.
Yeah, and it's all there. The pools are there. Everything's ready. WebDollar didn't have that. They had to build it as it went along, and they ended up making the pool system, and which is cool. Instead of having to find a pool, if you look at WebDollar, you can click on see your network, and you can pick the pool that you want to be in, and you pick one of these pools, and it'll start mining on that pool for you. It's completely different than everybody else and the way everybody else is handling it. And so that's why I think it's so clever. And they're working on plugins so that you can add payment via WebDollar into websites. And they're currently looking at trying to create an API to do payments also. So an easier integration. They have a lot of great ideas, but the thing is, it's a public coin. It's a community coin, so they didn't raise $40 million. So there's not a staff of people. These are all volunteers that get involved and write code and make the project work. And the Genesis block, where they put some coins away, basically gets distributed to the community. So those that are writing code and doing things will get so many WebDollars, and the community will spread it out. It's like right now they're doing if you go to bounties, you click on bounties, if you send out a video or you make a tweet, it'll get registered in here, and you can win. So they're going to give away $1 million WebDollars for YouTube videos and $1 million WebDollars for Twitter comments, and it'll get registered in here, and then you'll automatically be awarded a payment of so many WebDollars. So you can earn WebDollars that way by just talking about it. So you should make yourself a WebDollar video. Anyway, you can go to the WebDollar on Telegram.
Are they going to get a software wallet as well? Because it seems they have it like inbuilt in your browser, if I'm not that mistaken on it.
Yeah, it's in your browser. You can click on your browser. You can save your web wallet. You can load this You can load this website on your phone.
Just import it.
Yeah, and you send to your phone how many WebDollars you want. They do have a an app for Google.
I think that would make it easier.
Yeah,
or
it'll
Google
make
Play.
it easier. Google Play, but I think that they're doing an update to it. So I think they just turned it down the other day because they're making upgrades, and they're going to release a new version that will have more functionality. So that, I believe, is in their cards. But, these guys are doing a pretty awesome job so far. I'm pretty impressed. Yeah.
I'm getting it now.
Yeah, take a look at it. Like I said, I think it's an older one. I'm not sure of all of its functionality, but it is a pretty cool piece, and there'll be more and more coming out for it. And because again, it's all community. It's there's no company that owns it. It's all community driven.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty clever, and it was a fair startup, and I think they're doing a decent job with the simple use.
Just edit to the regarding the Apollo currency. It is a pre-mined, and it just relies on proof of stake as a consensus mechanism. Wanted to mention that.
So it's only proof of stake. There is no proof of work. So you basically you're forced to purchase coins to get started.
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay. Yeah, that's always tough. I know with WebDollar you can set it up and let it proof of work some coins. They give away so many coins as bounties to the community because what they did is they let some of their Genesis block earn some of the proof of work earnings, and so the money that the Genesis block, the coins that the Genesis block makes, they then take those and they give them to the community. to do, to talk about WebDollar and to build things for WebDollar and to do things with it. So this way it goes to people that are contributing to the system. I think it's clever.
Yeah, I think also bounties helps a lot in terms of recognition, as you mentioned by yourself. It really creates an activity, and I'm going a bit past to Electroneum, but I hope they would make some kind of referral system for YouTubers, bloggers, and influencers. I think they could even get a more massive rival growth, because I think affiliate marketing is also something that really works great. I wish they would do something like that. I think one of the reasons why Brave browsers have been so successful is because they are rewarding the user with $5 in bad tokens, which they can distribute to their favorite creators, and the content creator also gets like $5 in bad tokens as well. So if they could do something system like that, it could be awesome. And I also asked Nick Cook about that, so I hope he's saying it. But yeah,
I think that's wise, because it gives you a marketing team without actually having to hire one. And people would then want to talk about it, to put an affiliate link. Not like they're getting paid, but they have an affiliate link, and if you use it, it helps support their show. So that's the reason why you see a lot of these big YouTubers doing that with the basic attention token. You're exactly right.
I hope we can see that. I hope we can see that.
Yeah, I do too. So listen, I think we're hitting a little bit like an hour and a half or so. Yeah, we're into almost an hour, a little over an hour and a quarter. Is there anything that we missed that's on your list that you wanted to chat about?
That's a good question.
Did we miss anything?
I don't think so. Maybe you have something.
I don't, and I think I'm pretty good, and I think that we've covered some of the basics. I'm gonna tell you, I had a lot of fun chatting with you. I listened to your show, and I was like, you got in touch with the guy from Uganda, Idris, and I'm like, son of a gun, he beat me to it, and I'm like, and you do such a wonderful job. I have to tell you, I've been following your show. I think it's fantastic. It's very educational, and it's very intellectual, and you provide an honest evaluation of the situation. I wish everybody to make sure that they go to see your channel, Oscar Tech, and if they don't know about it, whether it's Electroneum or other stuff, but fantastic job. I want to thank you and congratulate you for all that.
You too, Digitspin. I really enjoyed talking to you. And one thing I have to mention is, I don't know if you made your intro by yourself, but damn, it is catchy. Sometimes I just replay the video to listen.
The story behind that is, the guy who made the Electroneum anthem. Electroneum.
Logan, even Thomas.
Yeah, Logan Thomas. Yeah. I reached out to Logan Thomas, and I was able to purchase his energies. I made an arrangement. We came to an agreement on costs. I gave him a little bit of background of what I'd like to, what I'm about, and he says, "I know all about you, Dino. I watch all your shows," and I gave him, we talked for a while, so he got the flavor of where I come from. He created the lyrics and the basic music. We went back and forth a couple of times on the lyrics to modify it, and he came up with that wonderful song for me. I took that, and then I did the video. I made the video to match the song, and I think I did a pretty good job coming up with a flavor of a video that kind of matched the funness of the song, and how fun the song sounded. So between the two of us, I think we made a really neat introduction. So I appreciate that.
I actually have one final question. What do you think would be the greatest? Because I really want to celebrate a 4K sub special. There's some time. could it be interesting to be doing like an Electroneum prank where you get like an Electroneum physical coin and you're saying, hey, check out Electroneum, you will be like the next crypto millionaire. Or I really want, I'm probably going to do it as well, is I can get some very cheap, I can get like 1,000 flyers for like, I think $20 or something, with an Electroneum flyers on. What would you think is the best sub-special to do?
The best, what is it? Sub what?
Sub-special, where you're kind of celebrating that you hit like, you had hit one key.
I hit the 1,000. Yeah, well, obviously 1,000 is important. My my earphone is yelling at me, telling me it's running out of power. The 1,000 is important because obviously that gives you all the extra features, and go from there. I guess it comes down to whatever you want to celebrate. Usually, you can celebrate a 5,000 or a 10,000 subscriber special. I think that would be fair to do, but 10,000 I think definitely, and then 50,000, and then obviously 100,000.
It's
Yeah, so I would go somewhere in that range, just and this way you can do a giveaway or something. If you ever do a giveaway, you let me know. I might be able to find some coins for you to add to your collection. The giveaway.
I could I will consider that.
All right. Okay, I've got to call it because my earphone's going to die and I won't be able to hear you because everything gets routed to this. You can hear. It starts yelling at me, and it won't let me do anything. So I wanted to tell you again, thank you very much.
Yeah,
and I appreciate talking with you, and I hope we could do this again.
Absolutely,
you do great stuff.
Yeah. I can hear
so
it.
I'm almost out.
Well, you have a great day then.
Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate you.